Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Oh, the Illblurmatic.
Welcome back to Illblurmatic, the illest blur in the land. Welcome back. In today's review, is going to be on What If Zombies episode 5. Let's get right into it. So episode 5 is kind of very reminiscent to Avengers, pretty much Infinity War that came out. But this time we see Hulk land on Earth by himself, and he is pretty much at Doctor Strange's place of residence. When he gets there, he pretty much is trying to warn the Avengers of what's yet to come. I like that he switched his gear, so we see the Hulk switch into Wong's gear, and he exits out of the building to an empty New York. New York is looking pretty ghostly, and we come across Thanos' kids, but before then, we came across the zombie, pretty much Avengers, zombie Iron Man, zombie Doctor Strange, and zombie Wong. And what happens is they fight off Thanos' 2 kids that came to Earth. And literally what happens after that is kind of creepy. I understand why Hulk was kind of freaked out, because he couldn't turn into a Hulk, by the way. He still had that same issue going on like he did in Avengers 3 Infinity War. I did like that aspect of it. So this episode kind of draws from the 3rd movie a little bit, not all the way. I like when he's tried to like literally get away from the zombie Avengers, but luckily who comes to his aid is Hope, also known as Wasp, and she takes out the zombies that are the Avengers. I was like, wow, like if they wouldn't have came, Hulk could have probably been gotten eaten or either infected. Also, Spider-Man comes to save him. He's kind of freaked out. He's like, please don't eat me. Please don't eat me. I said, what? He don't know. Like, that's not, Spider-Man's not trying to eat him. He's not infected. So Spider-Man takes him back to base of operations. We are introduced to Bucky. We are also introduced to Sharon Carter, Peggy Carter's granddaughter. And I like that aspect of it. We see the other characters we're introduced to. Also the Dora Milaje, one of the members from there. And also some guy named Kurt and Happy. So I like that Peter has like this funny introspective, like he did like a film with all these people, and he kind of puts them in the film. I was like, yo, Peter Parker is hilarious. And I love the guy that's played the voice actor for Peter Parker. Sounds like Tom Holland. Definitely not Tom Holland. I was like, dang, they was spot on for this. I guess they couldn't get Tom Holland for this role, and they found someone that sounded exactly like him. I'm not gonna lie. So pretty much the Avengers, and some of the allies that were like Happy, Sharon Carter, all of them, literally what happens is they go to the New York station, the Grand Station that you saw in Avengers 1. And literally, we come across Hawkeye and Falcon, and pretty much poor Happy. Happy ends up getting infected by one of the zombies. And Sharon almost got bit by Hawkeye. And I love that the Dora Milaje fights off pretty much Falcon. She's like, I'm sorry, I killed your friend. Talking about Bucky. Bucky's like, that's okay. And we see Wasp and them. So they try to find a way to escape because there were more zombies that they thought of. It wasn't just the Avenger zombies. There were human zombies too. Also, I forgot to mention that they did have an origin story for this. So the origin story for What If Zombies pretty much is, Hank Pym. Hank Pym again. Man, what is going on with Hank Pym? So pretty much what happened was Hank Pym is the reason what happened. His wife in this universe, because this kind of takes place in Ant-Man 2, a little bit. Literally, she was infected with some type of virus, and when they got her, she infected all these other people. We see the Avengers briefly in like the Northwest of the United States, them dealing with zombies. Like I said, Hank Pym probably getting infected. Like I said, I think Ant-Man might have been there. But that was the aftermath of why there were so many zombies. I was like, wow. So now they get on the train. Now I'm getting back into it. Now they're actually on the train and stuff. and they come across Captain America. Yes, Captain America that's infected. You hear Sharon scream. Bucky comes to the aid to stop Cap from trying to get at Sharon. Unfortunately, Sharon has already been pretty much infected, pretty much, and Wasp goes into Sharon's mouth and pretty much something where she blows up. And literally, we see that there's, like I said, the remaining is Bucky, Wasp, Sharon, and Adora Milaje. So this episode was very interesting that they had this going on. The next place they go to is like some type of facility, and pretty much is overrun by zombies, and pretty much Wasp ends up being sacrificed because she's already infected. She literally becomes the decoy or the sacrificial lamb to the group, and literally the group freaking escapes. Talk about timing, right? She knew that she was going to turn on them eventually because she had been bit by Sharon. And like I said, Spider-Man's still alive too, by the way. I forgot to mention that. And stuff. And he has Doctor Strange actual cape. So now the next place that they end up to is a place where Vision's at. Vision in this universe is pretty corrupt. My God, Vision is literally feeding poor zombies to his baby Wanda. Yes, also known as Scarlet Witch. And we find out that T'Challa is being held captive. Also, we find out that Ant-Man, the remaining part of his body, his head, is the only thing that's left of him. And T'Challa is being held hostage against his will. We see a Vision that's kind of like crazy, man. He loves Wanda versus like how it was with WandaVision. He's dealing with the grief with her becoming a zombie. We see Bucky take on Wanda and Hulk. You know what I'm saying? We also see Hulk take out the Soul Stone from Vision because he's like, look, I ain't got no time for you trying to set other people up and feeding your bae. And we see that the remaining Avengers that are left now, pretty much T'Challa, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, and pretty much they are the last remaining. The other ones were sacrificed to stop from what was happening. And we see them and T'Challa trying to get away from an infected Wasp, and he uses the thrusters on the flying vehicle that they have. And literally, they get away, but before they go to Wakanda, towards the end of this episode, we see a zombie Thanos. My God, I was like, uh-oh, y'all sure y'all want to go to Wakanda? Also, he was voiced by, T'Challa was voiced by the great late Chadwick, so that was really cool. This episode, I liked it. Wasn't my favorite episode. It's probably my least favorite episode for What If. I liked the direction a little bit with the whole horror aspect of it. Was really different, unique. The writing kind of slats. I wanted to know what happened to Thor and some of the other Avengers, but I guess this is not what it is, you know. This is probably really my least favorite episode. I thought this episode was going to be like a little bit more interesting. I didn't think we were going to deal with Hank Pym being like the problem. He was the problem that caused all this going on. But guys, have you seen What If on Disney Plus app, the Marvel show? Have you haven't? Are you going to check it out? Thanks for supporting. Thanks for rocking with me. Until next time, guys, have a great one. And I am out.
Next time, oh yeah, it'll blur Maddie.